Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. If this is your first time here, my name's Heather. I'm the owner of Charming Chapters, which is a small bookish business located in North Dakota. This week we are mixing things up a little bit. We usually do a weekly studio vlog showing our day-to-day ins and outs of running the business, but this week we are mixing it up. We are going to have an order packing session, and I'm going to be answering all of your questions. Over the last few weeks on social media, I asked what you want to know about the business, what you may want to know about books that I'm reading, or things that we've got going on in our personal lives. So we are going to be answering all of those questions today, and I'm going to be packing orders for you guys. So hang tight. We've got all kinds of fun questions that we're going to answer, and I hope you enjoy everything. Before we get started, just a little disclaimer. All of my questions and answers today are in no way legal advice. They're just based on my personal experiences running a business. And to be honest, running a business is a lot like baking cookies, and I'll explain that a little bit later in the video here, so stick around. All right, so our first question is, what made you start Charming Chapters? I have always been a creative person. I love drawing, I love painting, designing, you name it. And I've always loved books too, so naturally when I discovered the world of Bookstagram and book sleeves, I decided I was going to try and make a book sleeve for myself. And it turned out really cute, and I had friends and family that were interested in it, so I started making those and selling them, and it just kind of took off from there. And over the years, we've just grown into several different products, and it's been a fun journey along the way. What is the story behind your business name? Well, actually, in 2019, we started out with a different business name. We were originally called Book Nook Sleeves, and it worked for us for a few years. We were just doing book sleeves, but then after a while, you may know what the book nooks are, where you stick them on your bookshelf and they've got little scenes in them. Those became really, really popular, and unfortunately, it kind of drowned out all of our products. And I just knew it was time to change the business name. It no longer fit with what we were doing. We had more than just book sleeves in the shop. So I wanted something that was kind of cute and fun and quirky. And so the name Charming Chapters came to be. Any advice for someone who wants to start their own small business? Yes, there are so many answers to this question, but the first thing that comes to mind is just go for it. You will not regret it. If it's been something you've been thinking about, your gut tells you to do it, just go for it. It's a great way to express yourself through art and to connect with other people that have the same passions. I highly recommend it. But before you jump in headfirst into running a small business, make sure you do research. There are so many things to learn about running a business before you jump in full blown. Make sure you look up the name that you're thinking about. Make sure there isn't already a shop out there with a similar name. Make sure you check it in the trademark database for your country. That's something that I've been going through right now. There are so many shops out there that are just popping up with similar names, and they just aren't familiar with trademark. So make sure that you do your research on that. And then also make sure you get familiar with the ins and outs of running a business too. You wouldn't believe how much unfun things there are to running a business. It's great to express yourself through your art, but at the same time, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. There's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of legal stuff. You have to learn about taxes for not only your area, such as your state, but also for the country that you're in. And if you're shipping out of country, you also need to learn about the international rules for shipping to other countries too. So definitely a lot goes into running a business. Just making sure you do some research and make sure you're prepared for everything that comes along with being a small business owner. What do you feel is the hardest part about running a small business? Well, first, the legal stuff that I mentioned before, just learning it all and getting familiar with everything. But then also for me personally, time management. I have so many ideas floating around in my head that I want to bring to life, but I just don't have the time in a day to bring them all to you guys. I've got a huge list of ideas and products that I want to bring to the shop, but I also had to learn to balance time within the shop and also with my personal life too. For the first few years, I did not have that balance, and it just took a lot out of me. I had to learn that it's okay to take time away from my business. And as a small business owner, that's something you have to learn because you just want your business to be successful and grow. But you have to learn to take that time for yourself too. Otherwise, your business will suffer. And you just aren't going to be at your best if you don't take time for yourself. What is your favorite part of your small business? Well, there's actually two parts. First, I love being able to connect with other readers from around the world. Living in North Dakota, in a rural area, and especially since we moved out to the farm in the middle of nowhere, I love that Bookstagram gave me the opportunity to connect with other bookworms and share our love for books because in North Dakota, there really isn't much for readers to do in our area. The closest events that we have are in Minneapolis, which is about an 8-hour drive away. So I just love being able to connect with all of you guys and just talk about books. And the second part to that question is artwork. Charming Chapters has really given me the place to express my feelings and just different thoughts through the artwork with the different books that I've been reading. Now, obviously, I'm not licensed with any authors. Maybe that'll be a long-term goal. But it's been so much fun to bring to life the different feelings from stories that I've been reading or the different worlds that come to mind when I'm reading different books. So Charming Chapters has really given me the place to just express all of those thoughts and feelings. Where do you get your products from, or do you make them all yourself? Well, to be honest, about 95% of the products are made with manufacturers. Obviously, the book sleeves I make myself. You guys have seen those in videos. But one of my goals is to be able to get a Cricut and be able to make a lot of the products in-house too. Before we moved out to the farm here, we just had the little 2-bedroom apartment, and I just didn't have the space for that kind of equipment. So now that I have a studio space, I really want to look into making more of the items in-house. But to be honest, if you're looking for a certain kind of product to bring into your own small business, just Google it. There are so many different products out there that you can have manufactured for you if you can't make them yourself. If you're looking for stickers, just type in sticker manufacturer. If you're looking for bookmarks, just search bookmarks. It is so easy to find different products out there. And remember in the beginning when I mentioned that running a small business is a lot like baking? This is where that comes into play. Just because a manufacturer works for me or certain products work for me, that doesn't mean that they're going to work for your small business. My recipe for success is going to be totally different than yours. It's kind of like grandma's secret recipe for, let's say, chocolate chip cookies. My recipe from my grandma is going to be different than your recipe, but everybody loves both cookies. So it honestly just comes down to what you're looking for your business and what your customers like. So honestly, if you're looking for something, just Google it. It is so easy to find what you're looking for nowadays. What type of foam do you recommend using for sleeves? Now here's where that secret recipe comes into play again. There are so many types of foam out there. There is fusible, there's double-sided interfacing, there is fleece, there are so many types of things you can use for your book sleeves. And what works for me, again, isn't going to work for you and for your customers. I am on my 4th type of foam since starting my business. We started with fleece, and then we upgraded to a batting, and now we are on our 2nd type of foam. So it just depends what you like working with and what you feel is right for your business, but also what your customers are happy with too. What is your most popular product in your shop? Well, we have a few of them. For book sleeves, it would be our library card sleeves. And fun fact behind those, I almost didn't make them. I made up the designs just for fun. I was bored one night and they sat in a folder for quite a while. And I'm like, nobody's going to want these for book sleeves. And then out of a whim, I needed to fill up a yard of fabric with designs. I just didn't know what else to use. So I printed those library card book sleeves, and today they are the best sellers. They have been really popular to take to book signings. A lot of people like to have their authors sign them or even to give them as teacher gifts too. So I think we have about 8 colors right now. And if you've watched studio vlogs in the past, I did design there's probably about 15 more colors. And those might be coming later this year. They're kind of put on pause. But for book sleeves, it would be our library card sleeves. And as well for other items, anything with dragons on it. Everybody has been loving dragon bookmarks, the dragon stickers, and those have been some of my most fun to create too. So I'm glad you guys are liking those. But library cards and dragons are our most popular. Where do you get your inspiration from? From lots of places, actually. Music plays a really big part. I absolutely love music. I was in choir for 11 years. And something with music just really hits my soul. I usually have that playing on in the background when I can't physically be watching something on my computer. Also, watching other YouTubers, like other small businesses. I never try and copy anybody, of course, don't want to do anything like that. But it's fun to see color combinations, especially. Like, I never thought pink, yellow, and orange would be something I'd want to do. But after seeing another collection with that color combination, I'm like, yes, I need to do something in the future with that. So I definitely get inspired by other small businesses. and also books, of course, books. A recent example would be our Enchanted Garden collection. I knew I wanted to do something a little bit different for spring, and I had just recently listened to The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst, and it was a really cute, whimsical, fun book, and it really inspired the Enchanted Garden collection. So, of course, books really inspire me. This next one is a two-part question. What is your favorite book that you've read this year? And what's your favorite book of all time? I'd have to say my favorite book so far this year would probably be The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. That one just really hit me. It has been such a long time since a book made me cry, and the ending of that one just really got me. If you are a fan of romance, military romance especially, definitely check that one out. It's a heartbreaker. My favorite book of all time is easy. That would be A Court of Mist and Fury. I absolutely love Sarah J. Maas. And that book that's another one that has just stuck with me for years and years. That's probably my most favorite series too. I actually listen to it, the graphic audio versions of the audiobooks, at least twice a year. It's just my favorite. It's always stuck with me. It has inspired me for so many things. And that one's going to be a tough one to top for future books. What's your favorite book quote that inspires your work? I don't know that I have a quote that inspires my work, but there's definitely one that sticks with me for running my small business. And that, of course, is from my favorite series, A Court of Thorns and Roses. And that quote is, "Don't let the hard days win." Whenever I'm having a bad day, I just repeat that to myself. Don't let those bad days win. Tomorrow's another day. Start fresh, start a new chapter, and everything's going to be all right. So keep that in mind. Don't let those hard days win. Another two-part question. How old is Luna now, and how is she doing? So for those of you that haven't watched our vlog before, Luna is our miniature Doxy. She is about 1.5 years old now, and she is such a hoot. She's a spicy little thing, but also a love bug. She is doing great. If you've watched past studio vlogs, you can see her running around and playing or laying in the sunshine. She's just a happy girl overall. She really helped me get out of a dark place a few years ago. We had lost our previous Doxy named Lucy, and she was my husband's dog. Like, he was her favorite person, but she was at home with me all day long when I was working from home, and so she would keep me company. And when she was gone, it was just quiet. Not that she was a loud dog. I mean, she did snore like a freight train, but it was just different not having that companionship every day. So a few months went by, and I needed that friend again, and I finally convinced my husband to let me get a puppy, and so we got Luna, and she has just made a difference in our lives, especially for me, just having that friend and that little buddy to help out, but she also just makes us laugh and smile every day, and we couldn't imagine life without her. How is farm life, and how is the house remodel going? Farm life is great. We are absolutely loving being out in the country where it's quiet. I actually grew up on a farm, so living in town for me was a little bit different, with all the noises and stuff. So I'm happy to be back out in the country. Dan is absolutely loving it too. He was meant for farm life. He just comes home with a smile on his face, even though he's exhausted, but we are loving it. It's been so much fun being able to have a garden. I've been wanting to have one for the longest time, so we've been enjoying all of those fresh fruits and veggies. We just had carrots this week for the first time. They're not quite big enough to be picking full time, but we had to weed out a few, so we were able to try those this week. We've got cucumbers, squash, peppers, tomatoes will be ready in the next few weeks here. So it's been a lot of fun to start that new hobby and be able to enjoy just the peace and quiet out in the country and the beautiful views we can see for miles and miles. So we are loving farm life. And as far as the house remodel, it's been a little slower since we moved in. We still have quite a bit of work. If you watched our very first studio vlog, you'll have seen the office come together here. And the rest of the house, it still needs some work. We're slowly getting there. My husband will probably have more time this winter to work on things. I'm not very handy. I'm crafty. I can paint and stuff, but I'm not very handy. We need to do a lot more work in the basement, like put up sheetrock and all of that fun stuff. So it's coming together slowly but surely. What's one product you can't live without while working in your studio? Oh, Oh, that's a tough one. It would say it would have to be a tie between both my laptop and my headphones because I use both while sewing, especially. That way I can listen to audiobooks, watch YouTube, different things like that. So I think it would have to be a tie between my headphones and my laptop. Are you open to doing special edition box collabs with authors? Yes, I love doing wholesale for authors. I don't film a whole lot of what I do for custom work just because a lot of the items are meant for special edition boxes and those items haven't been revealed yet. So I want those readers to be able to experience those items without any kind of spoilers. But yes, if you know of an author who's looking for custom products, definitely have them message me either on Instagram or they can shoot me an email at charmingchapters@hotmail.com and we can make some fun stuff with their books. Do you have a favorite item or print? I don't know if I have a particular item that's my favorite in the shop. I do really enjoy designing the Reading Nook book sleeves. So with those, they usually have some sort of window and like a reading space, like a desk. And for me, those are so fun to design because I imagine myself just sitting in that space and designing it for that type of reader. So we've got like a dragon rider reading nook. We've got a rainy day. We've got an autumn one. So it's just like if I'm sitting in that space, like I'm sitting at a desk, looking out the window and it's an autumn scene, what would I have on my desk? Well, I'd have a cup of hot chocolate or tea. I'd have a little notepad. So those are really fun, really immersive for me. They're probably my favorite to design. As for particular items, I'd say it's probably one that people don't really know that we have. I don't promote them a whole lot, and those would be our acrylic bookshelf decor pieces. We have 2 designs of those. I'd like to bring more of those to the shop in the future. But we have a little book dragon. His name's Sparky. So it's this little dragon sitting on a stack of books. And then the other style is a dagger with roses on it. And they're just these little acrylic decor pieces that you set on your bookshelf just to add a little extra touch of magic. And I'd say those are probably my favorite. Do you ever feel unmotivated? Yes, all the time. It's natural to have those days. I believe it was last week's studio vlog where I actually recorded one of those days. I was struggling in the morning and just hadn't had much sleep. And you just have to get up, plug away, do the best you can on that day. And just know that tomorrow's a new day, a new chapter, and you can always go up from there. What's the best piece of business advice you've ever received? Honestly, be yourself. Don't try and copy what other shops are doing. Don't try and chase trends that aren't going to last. Do what's unique to you and what makes you and your artwork special, and you'll find your people from there. Do you prefer audio, physical, or digital books? Ooh, I'd have to say all 3 because it honestly depends what I'm doing. Lately, I've really been favoriting audiobooks just because I haven't had a lot of time for physical reading, but I love taking my Kindle when we travel. But then at the same time, there's nothing like holding a physical book in your hand, so I'd have to say all 3. And last but not least, what is one thing you wish more small business owners knew about? Honestly, it'd be trademark and copyright. I'll admit in the beginning, I knew nothing about them either, but I wish somebody would have said something to me. You cannot legally create any type of merchandise based on Disney, your favorite music artists like Taylor Swift, your favorite movies, and even books. You have to get proper licensing from the authors that created those books so that you can create products based on those. So do your research, learn about copyrights, learn about trademarks, learn what the difference is, and protect your small business and all the hard work that you've done so that way you don't end up in any legal trouble down the road. All right, friends, that's a wrap for today. I hope you enjoyed today's packing session as well as answering all of your questions. If there's a question that you have that maybe I didn't answer today, keep an eye out for our next Q&A session because I would love to answer those questions for you. But that's it for now. I hope you guys have a great weekend and we'll see you again next week. Bye for now.